When we train, it can be easy to go through the motions, just moving from one exercise to the next in a monotonous rendition of something that we've just come to get used to over time. But what if I told you that what we were thinking about while we worked out is incredibly important, and that what we focus on can have significant influence on the overall effectiveness of our training, especially in calisthenics? This is the school of thought behind the mind-muscle connection. And today we're going to talk about why this is important and understand how we can benefit from the mind-muscle connection. Let's get into it. How you doing, Cali Crowd? Welcome back to the channel that makes calisthenics simple. Jumping straight into it, let's talk about if this is even important or if the mind-muscle connection is just BS, just more nonsense being spewed by muscle heads thinking with their biceps. Well, actually, our mind, more specifically our central nervous system, is at the heart of every movement we make, whether knowingly, such as picking up a glass of water, or whether the movement happens below our level of consciousness, such as our heartbeat. When we exercise, intentionality can fundamentally impact the effectiveness of our training, and this only becomes more apparent the more advanced of an athlete we become. In calisthenics, highly technical skills like the handstand have a high neurological demand and require a focus that without which we likely wouldn't be able to perform it. But it goes even further than this because our mind can actually alter how effectively we can build muscles towards specific goals. We know that resistance training leads to micro tears in our muscle cells, and over time, through a process known as supercompensation, those same muscles grow back stronger. Well, a 2012 study showed that when athletes were asked to move a weight over a sustained period of time at low intensity, or moving a load quickly over a shorter burst of time, those who were tasked with moving quickly ended up recruiting and increasing the number of type 2X muscle fibers. Quick whistle stop on muscle fibers for a second. They're overall broken down into three types. Type 1, tailored to long duration aerobic activity, and type 2A and type 2X, tailored to strength and power-based movements. What's even more interesting about this study is that the speed that the athletes all moved at were all different, but all of them were asked to move at maximal speed, suggesting that intent was what's important here. So even if comparatively an athlete isn't moving as fast as their peers, as long as they're intending to move at maximum capacity, they still got the end beneficial result of an increase in their type 2 muscle fiber production. There are also various studies that show that by simply thinking of a muscle during an exercise, we can significantly increase activation of that muscle, heavily suggesting that we can build more muscle through appreciation of where our mind is during training. And we have the anecdotal benefits of training with a more focused and more intentional mindset. We've all had that training session where things have just clicked into place, we've been really motivated, and we've really been able to take our exercises and drive them home. This, compounded over weeks, months, and years, will only benefit us more than just going through the motions on autopilot. Our mind literally shapes what we do and whether or not we have the ability to do it. This is why the connection is so fundamentally important, but how do we optimize for it on a day-to-day basis? How do we improve our mind-muscle connection? First up, we need to comprehensively understand the exercises we're looking to do. What does good form look like, and can we understand what muscles we're looking to work during an exercise? However powerful the mind-muscle connection is, if we focus heavily on our triceps during pull-ups, you won't get very far. Once you've grasped the main drivers of an exercise, be very intentional with it. For new movements, this can't really happen if we're working at maximum capacity. If it's all we can do to do the exercise in the first place and we're just looking to get from A to B by any means necessary, it's unlikely we'll have the focus of mind in order to be specific and intentional about the muscles we're looking to work during that exercise. So regress your exercises if need be, slow them down, and think about what your actual goal is for that set and what muscles you want to tax. Breathing is another thing that can support in establishing a quality mind-muscle connection. Breathing and its inherent influence on our ability to create intra-abdominal pressure has a dominoing influence on force output. The tension we create in our core by bracing before a heavy movement does a lot to plug any inefficiencies that can be caused by loose limbs flailing about. When we do this, it means we can deliver more of our mental energies towards the main drivers of a movement. I tend to find that breathing in during the eccentric phase of a movement and allowing the diaphragm to expand when we need less force, followed by breathing out during the concentric and bracing the core while contemplating the muscles we're working, is best. If struggling to feel a muscle in the first place is what's hindering your mind-muscle connection, then consider using isometrics. The only language our muscles understand is tension, but if they're unfamiliar with the task that we've put to them, isometrics are a great way to help understand where we should be feeling an exercise. For example, if you can't feel hanging leg raises in your abdominals, hold the top position of the leg raise for 10 seconds and take stock of where you feel tension now, and then adjust your position slightly until you feel the tension where you want to. Then, when you come to layer on movement, this then becomes the goal and position that we should aim for at every rep, remembering the tension you held during the isometrics. I want to quickly give an honorable mention to our training environment, because the physical environment that we're in can drastically impact our mental state, subsequently impacting our mind-muscle connection. If we're somewhere where we don't feel comfortable, or we're training with somebody who's slightly distracting, or we're getting our mind taken away by notifications on our phone, do everything within your power to remove these distractions. There really is no point in wasting your time. Crowd, this is how you can leverage the mind-muscle connection, but if you're looking to see how you can activate the main muscles in commonly challenging exercises, then check out these videos right here.